From Studio A, it's WDWL TV, located on Grumpy Vulture Boulevard. And if anyone ever wants to visit, my studios are located on Grumpy Old Man Road. And we are a division of Grumpy Vulture Productions. Take a bow. Yeah, all right, look at the camera. There you go. Focus on the camera. And today is Grumpy's Hump Day. Oh my God, I never thought by having my first hump day in over a year, I would get that kind of audience reaction. And I'll tell you what, that's unbelievable considering there's only like 5 people sitting here in the studio. But they brought it on. Yes, it's hump day. And like I always say, when all else fails, add bacon. And this is bacon soda with chocolate. You know, a friend of mine brought me this because, I always make the comment when all else fails, add bacon. And he goes, I saw something when I was at the candy shop that I knew you would like. Bacon soda. And I was like, well, that sounds interesting until I got to this part where it says, with chocolate. Oh. I told him, I appreciate the thought. This bottle is never going to be opened. No. It will grow old gracefully sitting in the studio. Bacon soda? I said, this can't be real. And when I went on the internet and checked, this bottling company, which I can't read the print now, is for real. I mean, they bottle under several different labels and several different pop flavors. I don't know how much bacon soda they sell, but they sold one bottle at least. Bacon soda. Whoever Lester is, the old man on the bottle there. Come on. Try to get it so that it's out of the light. Lester's Fixins. Whoever Lester is. Bacon soda. It's going to sit here in the studio as a decoration. Although, I do have, let me put this over here. I do have an empty bottle of one of my favorite soft drinks. And I don't know why I stopped Well, one of the reasons I stopped drinking is to get a little hard to find, but Faygo, Rock and Rye. Oh, God, I love this. When I was a teenager, oh, God, I drank the shit out of this stuff. Original Rock and Rye. It's a cream cola. It's kind of hard to describe, but oh God, I bought the stuff by the case. I know you can still get it, but only online. Now, maybe where my buddy got the old bacon soda from, maybe that candy warehouse might have Faygo Rock and Rye. But it really, really fell from popularity, you know. I would tend to say like in the mid-70s, because it got harder and harder to find. And I just did a quick check before airtime, and yeah, you can buy it online. So they still make it. But where they would carry it, that I'm going to have to find out. Because like I say, oh God, turn the camera light on. I love that shit. That, and I was always a bit on the weird side. I liked Faygo Rock and Rye and RC Cola. Oh, I loved RC Cola. Now, you can still buy it. Store up at the corner carries it. But it's really lost its popularity. Back in the 60s, it was 50s, 60s, RC Cola. Oh, and I like Dr. Pepper too. You know, Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola, they, with their, you know, their cherry Coke and their cherry Pepsi, they tried to duplicate Dr. Pepper. But Dr. Pepper's got that combination right down to a science. But RC Cola, oh, I used to, you know, if I ran out of Rock and Rye, my go-to was RC Cola. And what's hilarious, you can tell how it's lost its popularity. Because you'll go in the supermarket and you'll see 30 foot of Coca-Cola products. Then on the other side, you'll see 30 foot of Pepsi-Cola products. And then in the middle, you'll see 10 foot of RC Cola products. Yeah. Talk about squeezing them out. But yeah, you get that little section for RC Cola. And a few other items, but back in the 60s, it was even, you know. It would be a third Pepsi, a third RC, and a third Coke. Not no more. You don't even see advertisements anymore for RC Cola. But I'll tell you what's interesting. A little dry mouth. Pause here. You know who is a big drinker of RC Cola? Jay Leno. He gets deliveries made to his auto shop. It's a fucking airline hangar that he bought. Yeah, to keep his car collection in. But in the front, where he's got his offices, there's the coolers stocked with RC Cola, just like you find in the grocery store. They got big cooler right next to his office. That's about the only big star I know that drinks RC Cola. But it really amazed me when I was watching Jay Leno's garage once, and that camera panned over, and it was like, holy yucca-fuck, he's got a big cooler full of RC Cola. And some other, he does think of his employees, it's not like that. You want to work here? You drink RC Cola. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. No. There is a cooler next to the RC that you could see various products, but a lot of them were turned around so you couldn't see what, maybe there was some Coke and Pepsi in there, but they weren't showing the name. Maybe they did that for the TV show that day, Quick, turn all them bottles around, But, Jay Leno loves RC Cola. But, back in the 60s, you saw advertisements everywhere for RC Cola. You drive in to fill with gas, and there'd be a big sign, drink RC Cola, available here, with a big arrow pointing to a cooler, And you would see it in Reader's Digest, Now, I think they're barely hanging on by their teeth. And rather than waste the money on advertising and expensive, buying expensive advertising on TV and radio and magazines, they'd rather pay it out to keep the employees working. Although from what I hear, down south, RC Cola sells very well. But up here in Ohio, Midwestern states, nah. Like you say, go in the store. As a matter of fact, the store right up in the corner from me, it's like an end cap. That's it. That's all you see for RC Cola, The rest of the back wall is all bottles of pop, 2 liters for as far as the eye can see. You turn around and here's a little 3-foot end cap with RC Cola. I don't know why RC Cola came to mind. Maybe it was the bacon soda. But if my Faygo Rock and Rye wasn't available, then I went to RC Cola. And RC Cola didn't taste anything like Faygo Pop. If you got Faygo Cola, to me, it always had kind of a bland taste. Now watch. All the Faygo employees will be out in my front lawn at midnight. Pitchforks, sledgehammers, axes, torches. Go in there and get him. I'm not knocking your product, okay? I'm just saying, my personal opinion. Faygo Cola always tasted a little bland. Maybe that's why they mixed it. I don't know what they mixed it with to come up with a Rock and Rye, but Rock and Rye was Rock and Rye. I'll tell you, it was rocking. Of course, all my friends were like, oh, Grumpy, how can you drink that shit? Easy, watch. Pop the lid off. Drink it just like any other pop. Oh, Grumpy. RC Cola, Rock and Rye Faygo. Oh. But see, back in the day, Bagel Pop was cheap. It still is on the cheap side today, but back growing up, and then we had another one. It was called Pick-a-Pop. And they had about 40 flavors. And you go into the store, and they handed you they say, what do you want, a 12-pack? Case? Case. They'd hand you an empty case, and you go through the store, and you would fill up the case with whatever you wanted. And then when you got to the cash register, they rang you out. One of the happy employees would carry the case out to the car. They always tell you, bring back the empties. Okay. My parents always used to keep that case right in the corner of the kitchen. My father would be counting it. Okay, 20, 21, 22. All right, who's got 2 bottles? We're missing 2 bottles. I can't go up and get more Pick-a-Pop until you bring them 2 bottles. Then me, I'd be looking under my bed. Oh, there's one. Yeah, I had a bad habit of taking food and beverage into my bedroom at night. Pissed my mother off. Oh. And she was one of the last people on earth you ever wanted to piss off. Let me tell you. I had some interesting parents. In 1946, my father was a Golden Gloves boxer. 1948, my mother turned pro. She was a professional female wrestler. Oh, 2 parents you didn't fuck with. I knew what a full Nelson was before I knew what a full Nelson was. Oh, could she put the moves on me? If I pissed her off, I got one of them wrestling holds. One of these days, I've got to ask my little sister to make some copies of the photographs of my mother in the ring and in her wrestling garb. She used to wrestle right downtown when we had the Cleveland Arena. They did away with it. Gone. Kaput. But at the Cleveland Arena, they had wrestling, and then in the winter, hockey. A lot of people don't know. Cleveland had a hockey team. The Cleveland Barons. I think they got sold and moved out of Cleveland. Moved out of Ohio. I don't know where the Barons ever went, but yeah. My grandfather would take me every now and then to a hockey game. And see, that was in the day before they had the big plexiglass protection. It was chain link fence back in the day, and you learned not to hang onto that chain link fence for fear one of them frozen pucks would go wild and hit that fence and bust every one of your knuckles. Or worse off, if there was a hole in the fence, you'd get it in the head. Oh. Yeah, Cleveland had a hockey team, the Cleveland Barons. We used to have all kinds of neat shit here. Yeah, the hockey team and the wrestling and a lot of other programs would be at the down there at the best place in the city. Not anymore. Yeah, my grandfather would call me up and say, "Hey, you want to go to a hockey game?" "Oh, yes." "All right, I'll get tickets. I'll get them for Friday night because we can't go on a school night." "Okay." And then on a Friday night, we would go watch a hockey game. We used to have another neat place. It was out in Richfield, the Coliseum. Oh, all the big stars came in. I used to take, the family out for Dizzy on Ice. But it was in a shit location. Oh my God. In the winter you couldn't get out of the place. Traffic would back up for miles. Talk about an afterthought. Trying to think of the guy that built it. Maletti. Yeah. Maletti built this big coliseum for basketball. But of course, they had other things out there. But oh God. If you didn't leave early, you didn't get home until like 3 in the morning. It was a bastard of a place to get out of. And it lost its popularity and they ended up tearing it down. All that money he spent to build it, they tore it down. But yeah, we had some neat stuff here. Then Cleveland went to shit. And then the political correctness. Oh, you can't call that baseball team by that name anymore. You're going to offend people. I never spoke to one person that was offended. But oh, yeah. Oh, you got to change the name. Can't call them what you've been calling them for 200 years. And then the name they come up with. Guardians. Oh, yacha fuck. Who thought of that one? You couldn't come up with something close to the old name? No. All the team names that are offensive had to change. Used to have the Washington Redskins. Oh, that made you want to go to a game. Not no more. Cleveland Indians. Not no more. Offensive. Got to be politically correct. Grumpy is not politically correct. I still call them the Indians. And I still refer to the stadium as Jacobs Field. This bullshit. Oh, naming rights. Who wants to pay a gazillion dollars to put your name on the stadium? Progressive. No wonder my rates went up. Yeah. Progressive Field. No, it's Jacobs Field. The Jacobs brothers built it. But no, naming rights. I don't know what the hell they call the Brown Stadium. Although, I've only been there once. And that was before the naming rights took over. I was there for the opening of the stadium. The first game ever played. The grand opening of the new football stadium. Yeah. I sat on the bench right next to the Cleveland Browns. Yep. I drove a limousine at the time. And the people that I was driving that night were personal friends of the team owner. And usually, we had to sit downstairs in the basement and watch the game on a TV. Well, that night, I was the only chauffeur that was on the field sitting on the bench. Because the gentleman I were driving went, "Where are you going to be?" I said, "Well, I'm going to be downstairs in the basement watching TV. You know where the limousine is. I'll be there before you get there." And the one guy turned to his buddy and went, "Oh, fuck no. No. He's going to come with us." And I was like, "Oh, no, chauffeurs don't do that. I'm not going to lose my job. We'll call your boss if they say anything. You're coming with us." I know, okay. I didn't want to piss him off. I was getting a big tip that night. We come in the stadium, and I'm looking for a seat. Where are we going to sit? They kept saying, "Just follow us." So I followed them, and I'm following them, and I'm following them, and I'm following them. And next thing you know, we get to the entrance to the field. And I was like, "Are we lost?" "No, we're going to our seat." I said, "This is the field." "Yeah, we're going to our seats." We get out on the field. He said, "Have a seat. But this is the team bench. That's where we're sitting. Have a seat." Okay. I wasn't going to argue with him. But that's where I sat for the whole game. On the bench. With the Browns players sitting down next to me. I had to maintain decorum, even though I was excited and I wanted like 1,000 autographs. No. Sat there like a gentleman, waved to them if they waved to me. I had one come by and crack me with a towel. "Loosen up, buddy." Thwack. Okay, I'm loose. Ow, that hurt. You guys are tough with them towels. Yep. I had some neat perks being a chauffeur. The one trip I had Dana Delaney. She was a star in the weekly program China Beach. Well, she was also the voice of Lois Lane for the Superman movie. So they had a special day at the post office. They had Superman stamps and Lois Lane stamps, and they were introducing them that day. So they had, Dana Delaney, and I can't remember who was all the other voices. I was just worried about my client. Hall of Fame. Now, I'd never been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I didn't think I was going to be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So we pulled in the back to the honored guest entrance, and I says to Dana, I said, when you come out, I'll be parked right over there. And she went, no, you won't. Excuse me? I'll be parked over there. No. The limousine will be parked over there. You're coming in with me. I was like, oh. And the big wig at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame turned to Dana and said, "What? He's right. The chauffeurs aren't allowed in with the guests." She says to the guy, now he's the big poobah of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She goes, well, if my chauffeur can't come in, I'll be out in the car with him. Oh, Dana, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to get us all killed. Oh, God, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get shot. I'm going to get, oh, God, I'm going to get burned at the stake. And even her agent said, you're kind of pushing it here. Now, I had been with her, driving her around Cleveland to all these events for 4 days. So we got to know each other. Matter of fact, the one day, she sat in the front seat next to me. She goes, I don't want to sit back there. And her secretary and her agent goes, well, I'm not supposed to, I don't think you're supposed to be sitting in the front. She looks at me, she goes, can I sit in the front? I really wanted to tell her, hey, you can drive if you want. I said, yeah, I'll put my briefcase in the trunk. So she sat in the front that day. So she tells the grand poobah of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he's coming in with us. And her secretary is kind of pulling her aside going, Dana, nah. And even the grand poobah said, no, this is a private tour behind the scenes. Chauffeurs aren't allowed in here, let alone private tour behind the scenes. And Dana said, well, either he takes the private tour with me, or him and I will be sitting in the limousine talking while the rest of the staff here takes the private tour. I could feel the lightning bolts getting ready to hit me, you know. Next thing you know, the grand poobah says to his secretary, give him a pass. I was like, oh no. Well, I'll tell you what. For the first time ever in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, what a tour. Oh, I saw the front, and then I saw the secret back. Oh, yes. I even held John Lennon's glasses. Yeah. They were on display, and the curator goes, you know who these glasses belong to? We both said no. John Lennon. You want to hold them? He gave them to Dana. She looked at him and she went, yeah, you want to hold them? I was like, okay. I looked at him real carefully and I handed him back to the curator. Here you go. I just wish I would have been able to take a camera with me, but no cameras. But what a tour. Oh. I'll tell you what. Driving limousine, I met people I would have never gotten close to in my life. Oh. It was long hours and it was a pain in the ass, but boy, the perks paid off. Oh, yeah. Had some good perks. The only thing is, I couldn't ask for autographs. Not allowed. But I was able to do it sneaky because my son's name is the same as mine. So I'd go, make it out to Grumpy Old Man II. They'd look at me and I'd go, what's my son? Here, I'll show you a picture. There you go. Okay. They'd write it out. Sometimes I'd give it to them, sometimes I wouldn't. Depend on what star it was. But oh, yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm brain dead right now. NBC announcer. It was the 96 playoffs World Series against New York. New York was here in Cleveland. God, I can't remember. Oh, why can't I remember his name? He used to broadcast for the Olympics, too. So he was doing the play-by-play for the World Series. And I had been driving him a couple of days, when New York was here in Cleveland. So, the first day, he says to me, he goes, that's a new stadium you guys got here. I said, oh, yeah. He goes, what do you think of it? I said, I don't know. I've never seen it. He goes, what do you mean you never seen it? It's the first time I ever been here. He said, really? Yeah. He said, I'll tell you what. At the end of the third inning, you go to the NBC trailer and you tell the girl, you're my guest. It's okay. What else? That's all you got to do. They'll take care of you. It's okay. So I walked in, end of the third inning. Oh, I wish I could remember his fucking name. Oh, God. Oh, pissing me off. Whatever. I said to the girl, I'm Mr. Announcer's guest. Oh, we've been waiting for you. Here's a hat and big NBC peacock on it. Here's a golf umbrella. Big NBC peacock on it. So, thank you. I turned to head for the car and you go, no, come with us. So the next thing you know, we get in the elevator. We get out of the elevator. It's the press room. All the press corps is in this room. I was like, oh, cool, this is a good place. Oh, I'm going to like sitting here. I'm looking around, they said, where you go there? I said, I'm looking for an empty seat. We're not there yet. The next thing you know, they open the door. Here's this little room. And there was an empty seat in between the two announcers. I can't remember either one of the names. Oh, Jesus. So it was a commercial break. And he turns around, he goes, "Oh, Dale, come on. We've been waiting for you. Have a seat." Here. Best fucking seat in the stadium. Oh my God. You talk about a view. Oh. And you talk about getting treated like royalty. His personal aide came up and went, "You want a hot dog, hamburger?" He says, "Oh, I'll take a couple of hot dogs." And then the guy on my other side, "I'll take a couple of hot dogs." He goes, "No, give me one each, hot dog, hamburger." And he says to me, "What do you want?" I said, "Oh, can I have one of each?" "Sure. What do you want on it?" I said, "Oh, everything." "Okay." Comes back, plate, fancy napkin, hot dog, hamburger. "What do you want to drink? A beer?" "Oh, I'd love one, but no, I'm driving." "Okay, what kind of beverage?" I said, "You have RC Cola?" "Oh, yeah." Comes over, big glass ice. "Here you go." Oh. Of course, the other drivers from my limousine service are looking for me. Where the hell is goddamn Grumpy at? He's supposed to be here in this heat-filled room watching a flat-screen TV. And then, seventh inning stretch, the camera happens to pan up in the booth. Who's sitting between the two announcers? Some chauffeur. Oh, when I got downstairs, they called me everything but Grumpy. "You rotten," I said, "Hey, I didn't plan it. I was told. End of the third inning. Go to the NBC trailer." Next thing I know, I'm upstairs in the announcer's lounge, having hot dogs and steak burgers. Oh, God, the best burgers I ever ate. Oh, I made a pig out of myself. Every time the guy asked me if I want another one, yes. But when they weren't looking, I wrapped two of them up and put them in my suit pocket and took them home. Microwaved them that night for dinner. Oh, yeah. But, same thing, no matter where we went. I'll never forget, we were out at Blossom. I was driving the band, Pearl Jam. We didn't have limousines. We had two big extended vans. I had the lead. My buddy had the second one. So towards the end of the show, they said, "Pull them vans around to the corner of the stage, have them running, and have the doors open." So I waited for the signal from one of the crew members. We pulled the vans around, opened the doors, and at the end of the number, they ran off the stage and jumped in the vans. Now, people were slowly starting to like, "Oh, the band's in them vans." Well, we had police escort out of Blossom, lights and siren, all the way to Interstate 77 they were going to Akron-Canton Airport. You talk about neat First time I ever had lights and sirens where they weren't pulling me over. But yeah, police escort from Blossom all the way to the freeway. Good times. Of course, I wish I would have had video of a lot of it, but couldn't have camera. No cameras. But I drove politicians, I drove famous authors, movie stars, TV stars, musicians. Oh, like I say, people I would never got close to in a lifetime. But that day at the Rock and Roll Hall, when Dana said, "You park the car over there, you're coming with us." And then the Grand Poobah, he goes, "Chauffeurs aren't allowed with the guests." And little Dana, she was a little pixie. I don't think she weighed 80 pounds. She crossed her arms. "If my chauffeur ain't coming in, him and I will be sitting in the car chatting." "Oh, don't do that, Dana. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh." And then he gave in. Give her chauffeur a pass. I got him somewhere. I'll look for him all. I got the pass from opening night at the Brown Stadium, the first ever game played there. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh, the best I ever. I was out at the Ozfest in '96 at the Akron Rubber Bowl. I was driving the band Tool. I'd never heard of them, but I was driving them. So we had some downtime. So I was kind of wandering around the Ozfest because, the Ozfest was as crazy as Ozzy himself. So I was chatting with one of the police officers. And he says, "Go take a walk down to that tent all the way down there on the end." I said, "Well, it's all dusty." He goes, "It'll be worth the dusty walk. Go down to that tent all the way at the end." I said, "Okay." So I meandered down to the tent, and I had to kind of fight my way around through the crowd, Well, there were two body painters, and they were painting whatever band you wanted. Like if you wanted Ozzy, they were painting them on the girls' naked chests. Yeah. There's two girls getting Ozzy painted. I was like, oh, jeez. But this was the Oddfest. You could get away with shit like that. And then the girls would be walking around. "Well, who have you got?" "Well, I got Tool." "Who you got?" "I got Ozzy." "Oh, yeah, the flashing. Oh, yeah." And then I'm in the food tent. And it's got to be a godzillion degrees. And of course, I'm in a suit. Yeah, sweating my balls off. So, my pass said Tool. this little groupie, she gets eyesight of my past. Oh, she was a real band groupie. So she comes up to me. I want to meet the band. I said, I'm just the chauffeur. They're doing their thing. I want to meet the band. And she was driving me crazy. I'm trying to eat, you know. I want to meet the band. I want to meet the band. I want to meet the band. I was like, hey, I'm not in charge of the, meet and greet. Oh, come on, I want to meet the band. They're my favorite band. I was like, oh, come on. I did it, it's 300 degrees inside this tent. I don't need the aggravation. Like I say, I got a suit on, a tie. And she was really getting on my nerves. I want to meet the band. I want to meet the band. And she'd have done anything to meet the band, believe me. Oh, what a groupie. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to eat, sweating my ass off, trying to eat, wiping the sweat off. She says, aren't you hot in that suit? And Grumpy, he was a smart ass back then, back in '96. And I said, no, I'm not wearing any underwear. And she commences to go, neither am I. Oh. Can I meet the band? I said, cover up, sweetheart, please. Oh, gee, come on. Then a police officer come by and goes, she bothering you? Yeah. Young lady, close your blouse and come with me. She goes, but I want to meet the band. Come with me. And he escorted her away from me so I could eat my lunch. And then, it came time for Tool to perform. So the manager said, the band's gonna perform. Come with me. I didn't know. But when there's a tip involved, you do what you're told. So the band manager said, sit right here. Now I'm up on the stage in the corner, kind of out of sight. People from that side could see me. What I hadn't realized was where I was sitting was a tower of speakers about 30 feet high. When that band hit their first note, this eardrum came right out this side and stayed there. Oh, I was deaf for a week. Don't sit next to tower speakers. 30 foot high. Yeah. I was about 5 feet away from them. Bang! Oh. But it was a good time. Oh. I don't think they use the Akron Rubber Bowl anymore. You don't see shows out there anymore. I know they store the blimps out there because it's Goodyear. But back in the day, Akron Rubber Bowl, all kinds of concerts, all kinds of neat shit. I'll have to gargle it and see if it even exists anymore. Maybe they tore it down. But I know back in '96, it was going strong with the Ozfest. That was cool. Good times. Pain in the ass, long hours, but the perks, oh yes. Talk about some good perks. Not to mention some good tips. Another famous star I drove, Steve Harvey. Oh, he was cool. I had to pick him up from the airport. And his parents used to live here, over on the east side. I picked him up at the airport, drove him over to his parents' house. Of course, there's this big ass, ultra stretch limousine that barely fit in the driveway, and of course, every neighbor in the neighborhood would. I had to keep him away from the car. And then he did a comedy show. And boy, I'll tell you, after the comedy show, he went bar hopping. Oh, I was out till 4 in the morning, and I had to pick him up 10 o'clock the next morning. Oh, Jesus. But it was well worth it when he peeled off all that tip money. Oh, yes. He was peeling off hundreds like I peel off singles. And then he goes, is that enough? Yeah, more than enough. No, here's another 100. Don't tell. That's for you. Because see, if we got money in our hand, we had to claim it. And then we didn't get the tip that was on the bill. But he told me, keep your mouth shut. That's for you. I know how these limousine services rip the employees off. Yes, sir, Mr. Harvey. Thank you for that big stack of hundreds. Yeah, never forget, he peeled off it. I'm looking. Oh, is that enough? Nah, here's another 100. Thank you. I hope I can drive home. I have to hold my eyes open with toothpicks. I'll see you at 10 o'clock. Okay. I'll tell you some more stories. When I think of, I gotta remember people's names. 96. That was eons ago. That was when I still had a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But I got some more stories. Limousine stories. Almost as good as my insurance story. But these are better. Except for the Geo Metro LSI. Pissed that guy off royal. Yeah. What do you mean he was following directions? As well? Your car says LSI. Yeah? What's that got to do with it? Don't you know what LSI stands for? No. Leave scene immediately. And he did. But that's enough insurance stories. Those are boring. The limo stories are better. Matter of fact, I'll remember the NBC guy's name. Yeah, about 2 o'clock in the morning, it'll hit me. Oh, it was so easy. Why didn't I think of it? But I can't remember it right now. Because I got a little more to add to that story. But I want his name. kind of shitty going, announcer 1 and announcer 2. No. Maybe if I'm lucky enough, I'll find all my passes. I kept a lot of them. I don't know why. Dust collectors, they ain't worth nothing, but I think it's time to get ready to make dinner. Tonight, shrimp and lobster egg roll. Yeah. Me and the air fryer are going to become friends tonight. Shrimp and lobster egg roll. They're in the freezer right now. You don't have to thaw them. That's what I love about that air fryer. You put them in, tick, tick, tick. 15 minutes, ta-da! Done to perfection. Me and the egg rolls. I don't want any other, I could have chop suey and chow mein. No, just the egg rolls. That's my favorite. So that's what dinner is tonight. Shrimp egg rolls and lobster egg rolls. Yummy. 15 minutes, they'll be done. Then I gotta let them cool because, they come out like fire. Burn my palate. Now I won't be able to talk tomorrow and tell you the rest of the limo stories. But with that, where's my clicker? Lately, my clicker don't want to work. I have to do shutdown, take 1, take 2, take 3. Let's see if we can do it in take 1 tonight. All right, we're lined up. I gotta remember, don't move your hand, just push your finger. I will have more limo stories for you tomorrow. Just remember, it's Hump Day.